Are African men so bad? Are we so threatened by what we call freedom of our ladies or freedom of our wives? Or are our wives seeing freedom as something which is new, and once they taste it, they say, what am I doing here? Kick the man out of the house and enrich yourself. What is going on with our community?
That question is raised a lot. You really need to go back and ask yourself, what went wrong? How can we sit all of us on the same table and trying to navigate and trying to put our culture in together? I mean, we can take the bad stuff and the good stuff and put them together. We really need to start also teaching our kids our language.
So welcome to Afrisota. Here with me is a father, is an elder in the community, is somebody who has been here, done it for so many years, and cannot hold it to himself, but want to share his experiences, share his story, and share what he's doing in this community with all of us brothers and sisters from Africa. So I normally do not introduce greatness when I sit in front of them. I let them do the introduction because otherwise I make a huge mistake. So thank you very much for creating the time to talking with Afrisota. This is how we inspire our brothers and sisters in the community. So I'll just ask you very briefly, tell us your name, tell us who you are, and give us a little bit of your life journey, your early childhood, and then we'll take it up from there.
Well, thank you so much. My names are Samuel Mwangi. I am a father, I'm a mentor, I'm a navigator, and I just believe in fatherhood. I'm from Kenya. I was raised in a village called Samari. Samari is a small village in Murang'a County, and that is in Kenya. But we moved to Nairobi with my parents, and I was pretty much engaged with the youth, and through a lot following my father, I was able to join the men's group at a church in a local community called Jericho. So at Jericho, actually, my father was a member of the men's group, and he will take me along with him, and he will tell me, son, I'd like you to learn about men issues. I'd like you to get engaged. I'd like you to understand what we go through as men. I'd like you to know that even as men, we need a voice, but we usually don't talk about it here. But being in a space where there's so many men, you'll be able to learn a lot. So I'll go into that space and I'll just listen, and pretty much that is where my first beginning of forming of an organization inspired me to go that journey.
I believe that your organization is not only about biological parents.
Yes.
There are many of us men who are fathers to so many children, and we need to stand by these children as father figures. But what he's doing with the Global Fatherhood Foundation is here to help men, to help fathers to be able to stand up in a very strong way for your children and the children that God has bestowed in your care.
Amen.
A little bit of statistics from 2018 to 2023. And this statistics is an overall statistics of children under the age of 18 years old in the United States. And it says that the number or the percentage of children living with both parents is 70% as of 2023. And this is compared with 2018, where we had 69.1%. The number of children under 18 years old, or the percentage of children under 18 years old living with their mother only, as of 2023 is 22%. And this is compared to 22.2% that we had in the year 2018. There we have a slight decrease. The number of children under 18 who are living with their father only is 5%. And in comparison with 4.4% in 2018. And the number of children living with neither parent, no father, no mother, living by themselves and struggling on their own, is 4% in 2023, but it was 4.3% in 2018. What does this statistic say to you?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for bringing a lot those numbers, because it tells us a lot as a community and as a fatherhood organizations. We need to get engaged. We need to be involved. We need to bring that stigma out, and we need to have these conversations every day. This tells me a lot. Yeah, we need to do a lot of interventions in the community. As an organization here, we are doing that here, and we're engaging, and we are actually reaching out to our faith communities. We are reaching out to other fathers. We are reaching out to school districts. We are reaching out to our local communities organizations. Also, we are reaching out to our women organizations here, so we can work together. Now, I want you to understand again, the environment itself, it's not very, very welcoming for fathers here. Look, okay, let's talk about the interventions here. The panel which is supposed to come up with the interventions, men are not included in that space here. Again, you find that again, we don't have enough data to show that, as an organization, when we have programs and activities and engagement, we are not on the table. Our data does not show that we are actually doing something. We're actually involving the community. So you find that there is a lack of enough data to show that we are actually engaged here. Secondly, we don't have support from the government. I mean, from the state organizations, from the local organizations here. Again, we find there is misplaced of priorities here. Now, for instance, you find that if the resources are given out in the community, resources are more geared to, number one, youth, are more geared to children, are more geared to spouses, but fathers are the background here. You know that for each intervention to be successful, men organization or fatherhood organization, they have to be on the table, because we can also contribute in making these numbers change, for these numbers to go down by involving all the parties together.
You mentioned something about how the society itself doesn't create the space for fathers, for men to thrive. And today, the boys that we are raising today, remember, they will become fathers tomorrow. They will become men tomorrow. So if we neglect that aspect, then there is a problem.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. We are breaking down this data according to ethnic groups. And the reason for that is to highlight exactly your point, and the reason why the Global Fatherhood Foundation is very necessary in our community here. For white children, here are the percentages. Living with both parents, 75% as of 2023, in comparison to 74% in 2018. Living with mother only, 17% in 2023 compared to 17.4% in 2018. Living with father only, 5% in 2023 compared to 4.4% in 2018. Living with neither parent is 3% in 2023 compared to 3.6% in 2018. Now I'll rush through all these ethnic groups so that when you are giving me your response, you will be able to touch on some of the reasons why we have that. For black children, and this is a core issue for me, living with both parents, 38%. 38% compared to 39.7% in 2018. A very huge drop of our young children who now live with both parents as of 2023. Living with mother only, 51%. 51% compared to 48.1% in 2018. We are moving upward to the wrong direction. The numbers are moving upward to the wrong direction.
Yes.
Living with father only, 5% compared to 5.03% in 2018. Living with neither parent, 6% compared to 7.13% in 2018. Hispanic children, 60% living with both parents compared to 67% living with both parents in 2018. Living with mother only, 26% compared with 24.9% in 2018. I want you to take note of the gap. With the black families, we have 51%. With the Hispanic family, we have 26%. With the white families, we have 17%. These are children who live with their mother only.
Yes.
And living with father only, 5% still. I think the 5% is constant with all the groups.
From the groups, yeah.
And then we go to living without parents. We have 4% for the Hispanic group in 2023 compared to 2018, which was 4.2. Go to the Asian families. Living with both parents, 85%.
Ooh, very high.
85%, that is the highest. Living with mother only, 9%. Living with father only, 2%. Living with neither parent, 2%.
Yes.
Now, these are the demographics that we are living with, ladies and gentlemen, and it is very imperative that we speak about this situation because our children are endangered. And I can confidently say that if you are not living with both parents, there is an aspect of your childhood that has been stolen or taken away from you. Bwana Mwangi, what do you make of that statistics?
Well, let me say this. I'm sad. I'm sad because those numbers, they hurt. You know, those disparities, I mean, they're so huge. If you look across different racial groups, you find that it's only the black people actually we are pretty much really impacted there. And there can be a couple of reasons here. We find we are losing our cultural heritage here too. We don't meet as often as before. We focus more on the economic aspect of uplifting ourselves other than family. Family becomes secondary. You are most likely to work 2 jobs to get an income and invest back home other than using that income in uplifting and investing time with your family. How many people in our community, they take vacation with their kids? How many people in our community, they take time to go to school, attend PTO meetings? How many people in our community, they go to school and inquire about the progress of their kids at school? How many? We have to change the way we look at things. We have to change the way we spend time with your family. One more thing, and an awareness which is coming up exactly is you find right now there is a lot of family breakdown here, you know, and the issue is who is going to be the head of the household there. You know, household becomes anybody earning. If you're earning more money, a man or a woman in the household, you tend to dictate more in the family. Honestly, I'm not lying to you.
That's true.
You know, yes, you know, men. When you back home, we used to make so much money, so we dictate on how the family, how the dynamic of the family is going to run. But right now, it's women that are making more money because they are more able to navigate in this economy. Their flexibility, you know, and the system tend to also uplift and favor them in a different way than the men. So the gender equality is not there. However, also as a community, also, we need to sit down and start to figure out, when we look at this data, and ask ourselves, what can we do as a community? You know, we need to start engagement early. We need to spend more time with your family. We need to have mentors. Mentors are key in our community. You know, if you have been with your family or your wife for almost 30 years, you can become a mentor to young families who are really navigating in this country. You know, our family, especially our African traditionals, is being diluted. Let's be honest.
That's true.
It's being diluted.
That's true.
Yes, we have the way of life of here that we are told we should live exactly like this. We should not speak our language. We should not speak our Swahili language, your Cameroonian language. Kids should always speak our English. No, you know.
You send your children to school. The moment your children start going to school is when you need to pay more attention. Because not only does the peer pressure start changing the dynamics from what you are building at home.
Sure.
We have children who start going to school, they come back home, you call them by their traditional name, they say, don't call me that name.
Call me by your first name.
Call me by my first name.
Yes.
And we dilute our cultures, we dilute our heritage, we dilute our roots from that early stage.
We really need to go back and ask yourself, what went wrong? How can we sit all of us on the same table and trying to navigate and trying to put our culture in together? I mean, we can take the bad stuff and the good stuff and put them together. We really need to start also teaching our kids our language. We need to have community organizations which are there for bringing the communities together, addressing the issues that they go through. Again, I say it's very, very important. We need to start now telling the state what we go through. We need to be on the table when the decisions are being made. Most of us, when we come to this country, it's like now we are settled. You have a job, you have an income, and you are doing pretty much well. So you focus more on the money, and again, your family becomes secondary also too. And what happens when decisions are being made on the higher level, on the government level? We are not there. We need to advocate that we need our language. We need to start having programs paid for by the government because we are paying for taxes. So our kids could also learn our culture, our traditions, and our language.
Global Fatherhood Foundation. I can tell you for sure that I have experiences of families that have lived back in Africa for so many years. And they moved to the United States less than 10 years after.
Yes.
They are divorced. They are divorced. Are African men so bad? Are we so threatened by what we call freedom of our ladies or freedom of our wives? Or are our wives seeing freedom as something which is new, and once they taste it, they say, what am I doing here? Kick the man out of the house and enrich yourself. What is going on with our community?
That question is raised a lot. So basically, when I say this to the African man, this is a good country. It's a good country, and I do believe one more thing. When you work with your spouse, you can navigate and you can be able to build a strong family foundation, but you really have to work here together. So basically what happened is, you see, as men, we basically, when I say the truth, sometimes we don't want to change. We have the issue of our culture. We want to keep that culture. For instance, let's be honest, sometimes when you have a household with two people making good income, you are working overnight, you are working in the morning. I'll say let's have a shared value of household there, in a way that, you can also contribute into that household and add value. When I work with my house, where in my home, for instance, Sundays, I try to make dinner. My wife makes breakfast in the morning, and other days she tries to do other things here, but we try to help out together. If you go shopping, we go shopping together. That increases the intimacy of the marriage, because sometimes we are focusing more on raising kids. You are focusing more on following money or maybe on a career, but also the family dynamics and the relationship is kept at the back.
You said something very important. In Africa, do men cook? Wash dishes? But I want to tell you, that is the culture that we have back in Africa.
Yes.
It has worked for so many years.
Yes.
Men is a role play.
Yes.
When you get married to a woman, this is the duty of the woman. Yes. This is the duty of the man. And trust you me, so many men are the breadwinners of their families back home.
Yes.
When we move over to the United States, we need to adapt. We need to adapt. You said something very interesting. I cook almost every time.
Sundays only.
You cook on Sundays, but
I cook on Sundays. I know
because Global Fatherhood Foundation, you have a lot of activities going on.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes you may not even have the Sunday to cook. Here we are. Today is a Sunday. Yes. And here you are. When will you go and prepare kitungu, prepare the viazi, and every other thing, kuchangamka, But it is an important thing you mentioned. It enhances the intimacy.
Yes.
in the family. And then we don't only have to train our children by writing a book
Thank
for
you.
them.
Yes.
They learn when they see mom and dad interacting, not making role plays in marriage.
Yes.
Interacting. Mom can cook. Cooking is a life skill.
Yes.
It's not a role play.
Yes.
With or without a woman, a man should be able to survive.
Yes.
Especially in the kitchen. I just wanted to highlight that, Bwana Mwangi. Yes.
Like I said, when I make barbecue, when I make nyama choma, my wife will make ugali. It's always like a shared duty whereby we work here together. And I came to learn from that. And basically, like now, I'm an empty nester myself. All my kids in college, one has moved away, so it's only me and my wife. I have to help her, and that's how I've seen that it is actually building our marriage. When I travel, I want to travel with her. And also I want to let her know, hey, you know what, but that's also how I get my respect as a husband. She knows, hey, you know what, you're still the husband, but I want to just be in her space when we are doing things together. We are there, we are working together to make our marriage work. There's a lot of sacrifice that if you do it, and it's always, nothing will be perfect at the moment. It takes trials and error. You try, you fail, again, you try again, then have a discussion. Maybe we should try this way. And also to our women, our men, we take, navigating is not easy for us here. We're not like multitasking like women. So women, please just bear with us. Bear with us, just give us your support. I can give a very good example. When you go shopping, believe me, my wife knows everything in her head.
Everything.
She knows this. When I go shopping, if I'm going to buy kitungu, it's only kitungu, and I go back. So that's why we go together. Because
when they call me, get also this, I said, no, let's not go there. Text me everything that you need.
Yes.
Because I left the house to go and get diaper. I left the house to get tissue. That's all I'm getting.
Yes.
So, ladies, please, we need you. We need you to understand with us.
Yes.
Go easy.
Go easy. And it's I don't understand. It's all, I know it's all about culture, but you see, men, they want change, but sometimes we need more time. We have different way of doing things here. So ladies, don't give up on us. Don't be upset. Just able to express yourself. What? Hey, I think if we can do this, I think we can do this, and everything starts with steps and steps and steps.
Doesn't happen in one night.
Doesn't happen in one night.
Even the cultural integration.
Yes.
A lot of us who have come from Africa, ladies, give the men small time to develop this good character of supporting you in the kitchen. Sometimes they just don't know how to do it. They say it's a bended tree cannot be straightened. But I believe that our men are not trees that are bended and they cannot be straightened.
Yes.
Give us time.
Yes.
It's a process.
Yes.
It's a process. And work together. We need to work together. Husband and wife. Do you work with ladies, with wives? Do you work with families like husband and their wife? Or you just deal with the men?
Well, we do. For instance, we have different programs. For example, if there is a marriage breakdown, if they need somebody to have like a counseling, and try to figure out exactly what is going to their marriage, I help them, but I want them to be the space whereby they'll be able to talk. We give them like a steps on what to do. We talk about the culture, we talk about the new environment. Then also the most important thing, we'll talk about that party. A third party can be a good person, but a third party can also ruin a good marriage.
You talk about having certain programs that deal with fathers. What are some of those initiatives? What are some of those programs that you've really established? And how have they been very helpful? You probably have some success stories. I know there are some fathers here who probably they are also coming from the prisons,
Sure.
And you work with all that group of parents.
Sure.
Giving them hope and letting them know that it's not over because you committed a crime or because you made a mistake and you were incarcerated. It's not over. When they come back to the society, reintegration can start all over again. Tell us, what are some of the initiatives, some of the programs, and how successful have they been?
Now, thank you, because you have touched the nerve of the Global Fatherhood Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, before I start, I want to say the mission has been always be to inspire, empower, and support fathers and families and youth in the community. Some of the programs we have, we call it Men to Men and Women's Talk, whereby if you have got any issues bothering you, you can come to our office, you can talk to us, you can tell us what's going on. It's an open space whereby we share. There can be marriage, it can be maybe you're looking for work, maybe you're stressed, maybe you're looking for mental health resources here. Now, we also have a workforce training. A workforce training, it is kind of integrated, whereby we have men and families coming from Africa. They need to navigate this country. Maybe they're looking for work, and they're trying to find families who can be able to support them, maybe with rights, or maybe fathers, and how to become good men and husband to their spouses here. Yeah. So we discussed all that. Now, the program called the Incarceration Program is a new program we started last year. It's called a re-entry program.
Re-entry program.
Yes, re-entry program. So men who has been incarcerated, I go to prison or federal prison, and I introduce myself, and I talk to them, and we prepare them for stages. There are a couple sessions here. There's a meeting part, there is a resources part, then there is the part whereby they come to our office and they get support. Now, support is number one. It will be, and all men are different. Yeah. They have got different needs. Yeah. One is looking for paternity issues. One is looking for work. One looking for workforce training. They may be looking for housing also. And some also, they have got trauma issues, mental health issues. And that is why we have to come and try to figure it out exactly how I can be able to come up with find up adequate solutions for these men to meet their needs. Yeah. And another one we have is called Adult Support Services program. Adult Support Services now is, I'm saying like this, if you support this man, also I find it's more wise also to add value to that family by supporting their spouses here. Yeah. So let's say for instance, example, a man tells me, Mr. Mwangi, I want to take a forklift training. Okay, we sit down, take a forklift training. Then I said, okay, John, do you have a spouse? Is she employed? He says no. You know what? What about if we add value as a family to add more income to make things better? What about she takes a CNA class? Yeah. Okay. Then she says, you know what? I'll talk to her. She says CNA class. Then we sign up for CNA class. When families have when they have both income and they are earning money, they are most likely to leave poverty. Wow. They are most likely to have healthy outcomes on their families here. The kids are more likely to have resources here. They are more likely to be happy. They are more likely to move away from neighborhoods, from a poor neighborhood to a middle class community. So, and that is the most important thing, seeing the growth, seeing the integration, and seeing the families moving to a different space where they can be able to afford. This improves marriage. Yeah, this improves it. Most likely the kids are going to go to college. The outcomes, and they are great because there is now the stability and the income is coming, and the family is really focused. Yeah. Yes.
Now, you mentioned some very serious things that you're doing. I want to ask you, partnership.
Yes.
Do you partner with other like-minded organizations? We have ADC, African Development Center.
Yes.
We have African Economic Development Solution.
Yes.
Well, we have so many other African organizations right here in Minnesota.
Yes.
Talk to me about partnership.
Well, thank you. Yes, let me tell you honestly, this work you cannot do it by yourself. We have ASA, Mwenyengetinge, the African organizations. We have the Uganda organization also. Also the IDS. We have Hennepin County. We partner together. The city of Brooklyn Park and the city of Brooklyn Center. We have Copal, Hispanic. So I work with different organizations here, and for me, for our organization, that is our stepping stone to learn how they are doing. I think we build capacity when we work here together. I'm able to understand the needs of the community and where I can be able to narrow myself and get resources for our organization here.
Wow. So now you know, if you're looking for a space where you can support an organization that takes care of fathers. Now, look no further. The Global Fatherhood Foundation is right here. Spousal abandonment and domestic abuse, domestic violence.
Yes.
Back in Africa, people think it's a thing of the men beating their women. Here, the women beat the men. They beat the men, Brother Mwangi.
Yes.
But domestic violence, please.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What is your experience with the people you work with the families you have helped?
Well, I can say this as an organization, we are against any gender violence. And there is a lot of reasons why we have gender violence. One thing is our men don't have access to resources here. There is also this narrative that, you know, when a woman hits you, you don't talk. I like our men to have a voice. I like the men to call me. I like our men to report to the police also. I like our men to also be having evidence to show that, you know what, this is a constant problem which is impacting you.
Yeah.
And also have a voice. Let us start talking to one another. Don't fear. Don't feel the stigma of the community. They'll talk about you. They're going to put you down. No, it's happening. You know the worst thing is when I fear when you cannot take so much. Either you hit her or maybe you commit suicide here. And believe me, who gets impacted here? It's our kids.
Yeah.
You know? So let us talk about it, yeah. And also to our women, I know there can be frustrations up there. You know, household is always, sometimes we can't match, we can't be on the same level on income. You know, women, I know you have been brought up, you have been raised by good fathers, maybe back home they have told you a man should always be in control. But we live in a different economy. This is a different economy. You know, women are able to multitask. They are able to access more good opportunities, and we support you for that. But also we are saying, you know what, work with our men. We want those kids to have fathers. Respect that man. You know, that man has got wisdom. You know, I like in my house. Believe me, I have my own chair. You know, I feel respect for that. Yeah. You know, when I have dinner, you know, and support, and also our men. Let's support our women too. Yeah. You know, you can't expect to live like a king. You know, when you don't want to change. Yes.
If you don't want to live like a king, a king is given honor by the queen.
Yes, given honor by the king. But also, just work here together. You know, put those incomes together, make those investments decisions together. You know, yeah, our men, again, you can't have one leg here in America and one leg in Ghana, and one leg in Africa and one leg in Ghana. It's going to be so hard here because
what do you mean? One leg here, one leg there. But Mwangi, peel the bid.
Well, so let me, I think what I'm saying this is, I think the primary part is just our focus as men, especially our African men. And it's okay to invest here, but invest in a way whereby, you know, you engage your spouse. Yep. Invest in a way whereby you make sure that your family needs are catered, and also you are also involved. You are involved and also supporting your kids here. Now remember, let's be honest. 95% of these kids they'll not go back to Africa. 95% of these they will live here because this is their country. Yeah. You know, and you know the worst thing will be us going back. We'll leave them here. They'll be vulnerable. No, they will be struggling how to adopt because you are not there. It's fine. I say this, and I say to the men, if you want to build, it's fine, but maybe build after you have raised your kids. Maybe they've gone to college, so you can go back and make the investments. Yeah, yeah.
When I speak with some African immigrants who have come here, I can tell you that a majority of African immigrants here, they have the belief that they will go back home, and home is always home, no denying about it. Yes. But there is the belief, there's the mentality that life here is a wait period, it's a waiting period. I am developing back home because that is where I will retire. Good intentions, good idea. Yeah. But you live here now. You live here now.
Yes.
You have your kids here now. You're raising them here now. In as much as you are working shift to shift to shift and sending millions back home,
Yes.
think about the family you are raising now.
Sure. Yeah.
When people think about they will go back home and retire, nobody wants to go back home and retire when they know that they have a family that cannot call any place home.
Sure. Yeah.
So build your family. Take your time, men, women. Build your family. Raise your children in the right way. You have talked about very important issues, and I will summarize it under communication.
Yes.
Communication. When you dismantle the aspect of role play in marriage, communication becomes easy. When you dismantle the aspect of the man is the king, the tall, dark, and handsome, or short, dark, and handsome. The man is the king, and there is no queen chair. You are destroying your relationship. But when you communicate, when you stop keeping secrets, one of the reasons why people shout at each other is not because they are far away and you need to raise your voice for them to hear it's because your hearts are distant. Which means I can be here with you, but my heart is down Brooklyn Center and your own heart is in White Bear Lake. So I need to raise my voice so my heart can reach your heart.
Yes.
But in relationship where we need to build cordiality, we need to water the ground for communication.
Sure.
Issues of secrets should not be.
Issues
of, the man is doing something here that the woman should not know, or the woman is planning something here that the man should not know. We have women who are here, nurses, they cannot support their family even with $1 because they believe that it is the man only to provide. They always say that the man's money is the family money. The woman's money
is her money.
Yes. Isn't it?
Yes.
We love to provide for our wives. Don't get me wrong. I would love it if I can give my wife everything by obligation, and if she can give to the family anything by choice.
Yes.
However, what is your reality in your family?
I mean, you have raised concerns and issues which really impact us here. And I'll say this to the men and women up there. Let us start having conversations whereby we talk to one another. It's not about money. It's about how you can build that relationship to be strong by working together, by supporting together, by nurturing, you water. So again, women, support these men, women, men, support our women. Now, we talked about, again, when we have 1 feet here in America and 1 feet back home. And also there's no honesty because we are doing things that we don't other spouses to know. What really happen is when you have an empty nester now, your spouse come to find out you have an investment back home, she does not want to be associated with that. And that creates now another friction again, whereby you're seeing a high number of people we are divorcing. We are divorcing past 60 years old. You want to live a good life. You want this, so you want to go back home. She does not want to go. But what about if there was a discussion whereby you discussed together, you bought the land together, or you invested together. So when you're going back home to visit, you're going to your own home, then you come back. So that is pretty much is very good for a healthy relationship. Again, for the men who want to go back home, without having a spousal support, it can be lonely. We have spousal abandonment here. We have mental health issues here. You go back home, you can be lonely. Maybe you built a house with stories, and how are you going to be climbing all these stories and you're coming down here because you're going to be in the old age whereby you're going to be struggling. So we can work out strategically smart, and we can be able to have those relationship and those marriage issues resolved if we communicate, if we work here together, and we support one another.
Excellent.
Yes.
Global Fatherhood Foundation. Fathers, are you listening? Tell us some practical experiences as a father. How do you navigate it? What are some of the practical experiences as a father that you believe have worked for you which you would like other young parents, young fathers to emulate?
So one thing I said is, as a father, have a mentor. Because even me and myself, I have mentors. There's sometimes I feel I'm so down. There's sometimes I feel that I struggle. I reach out to another man, and this man should be able to provide me the space and also just to listen to what I'm going through, and also for support. That's very number one. Try also to have to discuss more on issues which really impact you as men. Or maybe have like a fatherhood discussion, even with four or two people. What happens these days is we talk about sports, we talk about politics, we talk about economics, but we don't talk about our families. Yes, we don't talk about yourself, your self-care. How are you feeling? When was the last time you pick up a phone and call another father and say, "Hey John, how are you feeling? How are you today?" You know, most of the time, what happened, John? We talk about sports, talk about these Europeans, soccer,
things that may not even impact anything in our lives.
Yes, we talk about politics every time, but we forget about our issues here in the community. You know, we need more resources up here. We have mental health issues, John. We have our kids are leaving us. They are committing suicide. Our youth are leaving us with no support system here. You know, I feel sometimes so bad as a father. I ask myself, why are we failing? You know, because we have to change the way we do things. We have to start working together. You know, we have to be on the space whereby we listen to one another. We have to be in a space whereby I said, "John, how are you feeling today? John, how is your family? I want you, John, now to be telling me the truth, John. Don't hide me and telling me, Mr. Mwangi, everything is fine." You know, that is...
You're in court.
Yes, in court.
Divorcing.
And you have some pain.
Give me 1 second. One week after, but John, what happened? I was with you on Sunday. You told me everything is fine. What am I hearing? Master, the wife, the woman, the this and all that. But we have to open up conversations.
Yes.
Have to talk with each other as fathers.
It's all, John. It's all about communication. No, it's all about navigating and talking more and doing stuff together. I say this at least 3 times a week. Man, let us eat dinner with your family. You know, I am a busy man, but believe me, even when sometimes I lose, I get late, my wife calls me, "Honey, you know, remember, it's supposed to have dinner." So there's that constant reminder that, hey, you know what? I have a duty also at home. My home comes first before the community. I want to be honest with you. That's my community.
But Mwangi,
yes,
the society has a base. You kill the family, you kill the society.
Yes.
Your home comes first. If you
yeah.
cannot put your home together, don't waste my time. Yes. Don't waste people's time. And we're talking about putting your family first.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mwangi.
So, like I said, the base of the society is a home.
Yeah.
I like I said at the beginning, even when I support my community, even when we are helping helping fathers, helping families with support and resources, my family is first. I don't want to. Again, we focus more with our communities, and we forget that the people that we love a lot, they also need us here.
That's it.
So we have to be there for them. We live in this economy whereby there's a drug addiction.
Yeah.
You know, there's alcohol, you know, there is a lot of things going on, John. So we have to be there for family and provide that support here. Yes.
Somebody asked me in one occasion. Sometimes I'm the life in the party, yeah?
Yes.
So the way they asked my wife, actually, not me. So this guy is such a jovial guy. He makes fun. He creates life in the party.
Yes.
Is he like this at home? That is the question.
Yes.
Let's not see him here trying to show how he can be jovial and nice, making life, you know. Is he the life at home? Is he the life in the family? Does he bring these smiles at home? This is an important question, and I had to reflect about it, you know?
Yes.
And I asked my wife, anytime you see me trying to do too much out there and which I cannot do in the house, call my attention to it.
Yes. Raise some awareness.
Raise some awareness.
Mention it.
Mention it.
Yes.
Don't go say, no.
Yes.
It pays nothing.
Yes.
For you to be the ED of Global Fatherhood Foundation, and you are touching the lives of 5,000 fathers.
Yes.
But your children cannot identify a father in you.
That's true. Yeah.
That is dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Your wife cannot identify a husband in you.
Very dangerous.
They start referring to you, that man.
Yes.
That man.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Today, the children are coming from a holiday. He wants to go and say something as the ED of a global. Oh, we have a meeting here tomorrow. We have this. When do you have time?
Yes, but you brought a good question here. I want to understand, John. I want to understand one more thing, John. Raising family, raising kids, being in a marriage, it's not easy. It's not easy, and there is a lot of navigation that you have to go through. Sometimes even you try to be a good father, the best father, you be a minister, you're a navigator, you're a counselor, you're a mentor. You find our kids are mostly likely to get impacted differently now. Now, let's look at it. Let's look at our communities right now. You find girls are mostly likely to prosper in a career-wise than boys.
Yes.
And some of them is because of the environmental,
the environment where we live.
The environment where we live. Boys are more exposed to drug addiction. Boys are more exposed to alcohol. Boys are more exposed to racial discrimination.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Boys are more employment discrimination again.
Yes.
Boys are more likely to be paid less pay in their career than other people they are working with. So you find there's a lot of the boy child is getting a lot of negative things coming up to him. So, and I always say this to our community, this is the kind of conversations that we really need to talk about. You raise our kids, we give them the best education here, but it's an environment up there. They are going, when they'll be by themselves, how are they going to navigate? John, we came to this country and we carry so much pain, John, because number one, I was underpaid. I have to work 2 jobs to make the same pay like my boss. Remember, I'm the one doing so much work
more than the boss.
They're more than the boss, So when the company balance sheet is reflecting well, it's Mr. Mwangi actually carrying a lot of this bulk.
That's
and
true.
I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm raising twins, John, with another child. So, and we shouldn't be going like that here. Now we are saying enough is enough. Let our young boys and young girls get good careers when they are going to be stable, when they're going to be employed. They'll have a strong base. They are going to be financially stable. They'll be able to support themselves here. The way we lived, it should happen to our family. And that can only be achieved when you start talking about it.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
You start sharing stories. I tell my kids my stories, how I came up to be here. My wife's the same thing too. She tells the kids the stories, of how we came to be here. And we want them to be successful, and we have got to support them. Yes.
You mentioned some very important things.
Yes.
Each time an African family comes to the United States, if they are coming with their children, they are more concerned about their boy child, especially as little kids. They are more concerned about their boy child. If it's a young family and they're about to start having babies, they are more concerned about raising their boy child in this society. Cultural dynamics, peer pressure, and the vulnerabilities of men. The boy child is down, Bwana Mwangi.
Yes.
The boy child is down. I used to work in East Africa, and a lot of organizations amplify women empowerment at the detriment of the boy child.
Gender bias.
And we want to talk about this boy child when he becomes a father tomorrow.
Yes.
We want to talk about them, how irresponsible they are. Yes. We want to throw them into jail. We want to shoot them in the streets. We want to blame them for drug addiction.
Yes.
But we did not take care of them as babies.
Yes.
Early intervention.
Yes.
We did not take care of our boy child. And this is affecting our society. You are doing a great job by tackling the challenges that parents, fathers are facing today.
Yes.
And I believe that your interventions are going to help these fathers and mothers to pay attention to their boy children. Because if you do not raise the boy child right, the society is bound to be crippled.
Yes.
People take this lightly, but I say there was an order in which God created things.
Amen.
If you take the man away from the house, something very important is going to be lacking. If you take the woman away from the house, something very important is going to be lacking. Every child deserves their father and their mother.
Sure. Yep.
Every child deserves their father and their mother. And because the environment makes the boy child so vulnerable to so many negativities,
yes, yeah,
the cycle continues.
Yes.
The same boy child who did not experience any mentorship from their father grow up not knowing what a man should do in their home. Yeah. And tomorrow they become the man who does not have time or who does not take care of their family. Bwana Mwangi,
yes,
great job. You're doing a great job.
Yes.
Mental health.
Yes.
I'm sure you have seen a lot of cases where fathers are breaking down. Sometimes they are crying. I have experiences of fathers. They say men don't cry in Africa. Yeah, no, those are not cultures we should be carrying on our head. We have beautiful cultures in Africa, but some of them need to be examined. You know, some of them need to be examined. Men, if you need to cry, cry. If you need to cry, cry. Because the pain inside, if you keep that pain for too long, it pushes you to do something very terrible in the community.
Yeah.
We have men who have literally murdered their wives in this state, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
We have women who have literally murdered their husbands in this state, Minnesota.
Yeah.
We have parents who have murdered their children. We have children who have murdered their parents in this state, Minnesota. Mental health.
Yes.
Do not forget to take care of your mental well-being. Bwana Mwangi, mental health. Fathers.
Yeah, well, this is mental health is key. Mental health there's a lot of stigma. One of the stigma is we talk about it.
Yeah.
Then also, I want to remember one thing. You know, we have, even when we moved to this country, there's a lot of some issues which were not resolved at home. You know, for instance, you grew up seeing your father beating your mom, or sometimes you saw a case whereby maybe a community was attacked, maybe by rebels. You know, and you saw so many people died. So you find this is stigmas or issues which really affect our mental health as we grow, because we never had a counseling, somebody to help us. So, and now becomes an issue whereby or sometimes another example will be boys who have been to boarding school, maybe they were raped. Let's talk about it. It's happening.
Sure.
So you find that these boys or men, they go into a marriage, and it really brings all those
it breaks
triggers
them down.
It triggers those moments of what happened, and this actually breaks them down. So I'm saying this to the community: let us, even when you talk about mental health, there are resources there. You need to open up. You know, you can come to my organizations. I can give you resources, or you can come, you can talk to us, and we can look what steps we can be able to help you for you to be to be a successful man. Our women is the same thing too. Let us start talking about it here. You know, I tell this man, maybe we should start gossiping too. Maybe gossiping helps. Yeah, gossiping helps. You know, let's talk about John every time here, because it really helps.
Gossip. The thing that is bad about gossip is when it is not constructive.
Yes. Yeah.
When it is not constructive, we can rightfully call it gossip when it is not constructive.
Yes.
When it is not meant to promote any family or anybody.
Just for men to men, yeah.
But conversations, I think I want to use the word conversation.
Yeah, just conversations.
But gossip is something that people say is a woman's thing. Nowadays, there are some men who gossip too, but it is when women want to put down other women in their little circle. That's gossip.
Yes.
You're not promoting your friends, but you're putting them down. Men, we are not here to gossip, but we should start having meaningful conversations, even if it means we're meeting every Sunday at Bwana Mwangi's place,
Yes.
or Bwana Mwangi's office on
Yes.
Saturday and just having nyamachoma, or in a park.
Yes.
We should be able to have those moments and communicate with your family if you are going out for those kind of things.
Yeah,
it makes no sense for me to leave an angry wife back home because I'm coming to seek help for my mental health, and I don't tell them what is going. I don't tell them where I'm even going to. You know, that communication is very important. But again, gossip in the sense that it's for constructive gossiping. Men should start gossiping.
Conversation, yes. Yeah, but also one more thing I want to say: let's take care of yourself. Don't be too much lonely. Have a mentor doer. I call it a man-to-man doer. Somebody who could be able to reach out, talk to, and share what's going on with you. Another thing also I want to say, be proactive in the community also too. You know, be a leader. You know, engage other people or engage other men. Have maybe like a nyama choma and just have maybe even watch soccer together and just being in that space whereby you're talking about shouting and talking about good things which can really bring good vibes in the community. Again, communicating with your families, you know, and self-care again, exercise, you know, and have a hobby, you know, have a hobby, you know, that is key. Weekends, travel sometimes. Go with your family. You know, there's so many people that they have never been to the Mall of America. Yep, I've seen.
And it's here in Minnesota.
Here. Yes. So take this short vacation out. You cannot be working even when you're on vacation. You want to sell those hours, you know, and you want to work so you can get more money and double money. No. Take vacation, self-care with your family. Take those kids out here. Yeah, take this car. Go to a hotel.
Go to the park. Go to a hotel. Go to Wisconsin. Go to North Dakota.
Yes.
Just see how the villages are also.
Yes.
There are people who come to Minnesota. They say we live in Minnesota, but they only know Minneapolis. They only know Brooklyn Park. So they know their home and where they work, and maybe the African shop.
Yeah, and maybe the other one, they know Kenya.
they know village back in Africa.
Yeah,
you need to.
Like that.
Now, if you are a mental health expert, a mental health practitioner, you've heard it all. Bwana Mwangi here, Mr. Mwangi here with the Global Fatherhood Foundation. They see a lot. They make a lot of references to the resources that are available. I know that one of the things that is very expensive in this United States is healthcare. Healthcare is very expensive. But if you are a mental health practitioner, maybe you own your private clinic and you are listening to this conversation today and you say, how can I help? Call Bwana Mwangi. Call the Global Fatherhood Foundation and say, I'm reserving 2 spots for the Global Fatherhood Foundation. Send me any 2 men with mental health issues and I will talk to them for free.
Wow, thank you.
We will value your contribution. We will value what you do to help the community. Remember, we don't have to walk alone.